Hello, welcome back. Come on in, sit down. You will need, not with this particular session, but with the following session, you will need a piece of paper, but I will let you know about that at the end of the video for outlining. Today is day 3. We're going to get our hands actually doing something, creating something. We're going to get those minds flowing. We're not going to just be doing practice or highlighting. We're actually going to be putting pen or pencil onto paper, and we're going to put our ideas onto the paper. And I want to tell you how we're going to do that. We're going to begin by outlining. And so let's talk about that a little bit, shall we? So outlining is going to have, there are different types of structures. Structures and outlines are very similar. Each essay type has its own sort of unique structure or outline or framework. What I like to call them is they are like skeletons. So the skeleton gives your paper shape. And if I am a reader and I can look at the skeleton, I can tell what kind of animal this is. I can tell what kind of paper this is, and it helps me sort of get in line with what you, the writer, are trying to do. So we want to make sure that we understand the shape, the skeleton, the outline of our paper. Like, for instance, if I were to ask you, what is this big thing with the big long bones coming out like this, the one that's on the left, this picture, you would not say that's a kitty cat. You wouldn't say that's a kangaroo. You would look at that and go, that's obvious. It's an elephant. Same thing with the one on the right-hand side. If I were to ask you, what is that? Even as a third grader, you go, oh, I know what that is. That's a T-Rex. That's a dinosaur. And you would know because you see the shape. Well, that's what I want to see in your papers. I want to give your papers that outline, that skeleton that will give it shape. Once you have the skeleton in place, all you got to do is pack on all the other stuff, which is really easy, and you got a full elephant or a full T-Rex or whatever else you want to go over and create. So what happens, though, if you get the shape, you get that skeleton wrong? What happens then? Well, what you get is this. You get a mess. It's not an elephant, it's not a dog, it's not an eagle with its talons, it's not an alligator with its tail. The reader looks at it and goes, I don't know what this is. And they get frustrated and confused. Also, it makes it very hard for you to have created this mess, what a mess this is. You know, you heard a hippopotamus? Well, this is what a mess this is kind of animal. That's a joke. It's a bad joke. I understand. It's a dad joke. But you put this together, you're not going to be able to put anything on that and make it look right. It's still going to look weird. It's still going to read weird. You want it to be crystal clear. So you want to make sure that you get the skeleton, you get the outline right. And that's really what we're going to be focusing on in the first part, is getting the outline, getting the skeleton right. Okay? There are 2 different kinds of shapes or outlines that we're going to be dealing with that pertain to your test. As I said earlier, there are sort of 3 or 4 different kinds of writing that you're going to do. It might be a narrative, which, what is that? Right, that's a story. You're telling a story. That's narrative. But you might have full essays as well. And those full essays can be anything from informative. You're informing me, you're teaching me in your essay, in your writing. It might be persuasive. You're trying to persuade me that what you think and what you believe is right. Or it might be argumentative, something along those lines. So there's lots of different full essay types, but they all follow a very similar skeleton. And we're going to deal with that in our next set of videos. But tonight's videos, or today's videos, depending on when you're watching this, are going to be narratives. How do you outline, how do you put together the skeleton for a narrative paper? And so that's what we're going to go do next, is we're going to look at outlining a narrative story And this will be part 2 of 3 videos. I want to try to keep these relatively short. I know it's hard to watch, 20 minutes, but these are big, big, big topics. This normally would take weeks to teach. And we're trying to do it in like 15 minutes just to help you be able to do really well and feel comfortable on the test. So what are you going to need? Next, you're going to need a piece of paper. And I don't really care what size paper. It could be big. This is 11 by 14. You can have a smaller piece of paper, like a regular size piece of paper. That's this size. That's 8.5 by 11. It goes like this normally when you do your papers at home. But whatever size paper you get, I want you to go get that and be ready when we come back next video for narrative outlining. How do you outline a story? Okay? So we'll see you in a few moments.